Hi everybody, Ian Bremmer here, around your world in 180 seconds. I have your questions as always lined up on my phone and we're ready to go. Number one, why are some countries issuing travel advisories for visiting the United States? You'd call it an abundance of caution, but things are moving very quickly in the US. It's only been 2 months since Trump has been inaugurated, and many countries, allies of the US, feel that treatment of their citizens will not be aligned with rule of law in the United States. Certainly worry given, for example, some green card holders facing deportation for what would be considered for an American citizen just exercise of freedom of speech, freedom of organization. Also, they've seen what's happened with law firms and the chilling impact of Trump going after them if they are engaged in supporting lawsuits against the government. All of those things and a recognition that these are moving fast and getting more challenging quickly is making a whole bunch of American allies issue travel advisories telling their citizens you shouldn't be traveling to the U.S. right now. We've already seen a big economic impact of Canada tourism to the United States, hurting the U.S. economy. Haven't seen that as much from Europe yet, but I expect that you will. And of course, in terms of people that are applying for green cards and wanting to get jobs in top American corporations or apply to be students at top American universities, I think that's going to have a big impact going forward longer term. How are the political tensions in Netanyahu's government impacting the war with Hamas? Well, the fact that the far-right coalition is fully back together because the war has restarted, right? That's why the far-right party left, and that was because they didn't like the ceasefire, and they certainly were opposed to phase two that would have led to the Israelis to do a full pullout of the military from Gaza. Well, now the war has restarted. The Israeli government is talking directly about annexation if the hostages are not all released, and they're doing that with full support of the United States. Big demonstrations in Israel, concerned that Israel is no longer going to be a democracy, especially because the prime minister has now sacked his attorney general, has sacked the head of the Shin Bet, both unprecedented for Israel since independence. But Netanyahu has full support from his coalition and from the United States, so he's in a strong position right now. Finally, will public outcry over the arrest of Istanbul's mayor lead to major political reforms or shifts within the Turkish government? I don't expect so at all. They are allowing for large demonstrations to continue in Istanbul, even though President Erdogan has said that's illegal, in part because there's a lot of media there, there's a lot of focus there. They clearly want to limit that violence, but they've been cracking down really hard everywhere else in the country, including the capital, Ankara. They've dealt with this sort of thing in the past. The military is fully aligned with Erdogan, and the top is quite politicized. Media, ditto, overwhelmingly aligned with the state. So there's the judiciary. So after the failed coup attempt. So for all of those reasons, I think this is going to be a move from Erdogan towards a more direct autocracy as opposed to a hybrid system. Unfortunate, and yet one more place where the Europeans are in trouble. But nonetheless, he's been quite useful to a number of other countries around the world in terms of dealing with refugees from Syria, if you're the Europeans, dealing with Turkey on the ground, dealing with Syria on the ground, and stability if you're the United States. And the Gulf states have found him useful as an interlocutor as well, on Russia-Ukraine too. So for all of those reasons, very important internationally, very repressive domestically, two things I expect to continue. That's it for me, and I'll talk to you all real soon.